Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited about this live tonight. Now, tonight, I'm going to teach very simply, how to own the calling on your life. Now, I can tell you that this is going to be a powerful message. And if you know that you've got the skills, you've got the talent, you're brilliant and you're amazing. People tell you all the time about how your gifts are changing their life, their business, and you are ready to own your stuff, you're in the right place tonight. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant, mentor, and I got started in my company 19 years ago. And I simply made a decision. Everything gets started because you make a decision. I decided I wanted to go to work as myself. I wanted to figure out how to take this background as a corporate trainer, what I was doing professionally, and how to package what I knew how to do as a mom, my self-care system, says so many women would just stop me on the street and ask me about how I was doing motherhood, the way that I was doing it. And I just knew there was something organic about the way I was doing things that could add value to another. I wasn't sure how it could be a business. My very first stop, I went to a small business resource center in my town, and I was told by the director of this small business resource center that my idea, in essence, mom coaching, would never be monetizable, that no one would ever pay me to coach them, to mentor them, to consult them, by the director of that center. And I remember feeling so sad, broken, discouraged, because that's what happens when we take our big bodacious dreams and we give them to people to help us who are not in a position to help us, not because they can't, it's just because they don't see what we see. So fast forward, I kept looking for someone to help me, and I ended up going to a live event, and that live event changed my life. Literally, it was the first time I saw someone doing what I wanted to do, which is coaching, consulting, mentoring. And I decided to hire her. And from that moment on, I learned how to build the business of coaching. And it's changed my life. Fast forward, I've coached thousands of women literally around the world. And today I teach women how to build the brands of themselves, how to package their knowledge into high ticket products, how to own all of who they are, and how to serve the world with their gifts. Now, if you're here today, you're in the right place, because I am on fire right now. Let me just tell you. And I'm going to teach tonight about how to own the calling on your life. How to own the calling on your life, because you're already smart, you're already sharp, you already create amazing results. And sometimes we mute our story, we dumb down our gifts. We're so tired of being called out because we're brilliant, because we're amazing, that we don't always stand in our value and in our gifts in the way that we should. And if that's you, this live is going to be for you today. And I promise you, I'm not going to hold back. I am talking to you. If you know that you were put here for a very specific reason, to use your talents and your skills for good, right? To change the world in some way, that you can create results for others, and you want to figure out how to package that, you're in the right place today, because I'm going to break that all the way down. And I can tell you that as a direct result of me growing this amazing business, it's changed my life. Literally, I thought that I was going to work 40 hours a week, right? 40 hours a week for 40 years, or 40 to 70 hours a week for 40 plus years, and retire like most people. And there was something that was unsettling about that for me. It just in my gut, I just knew there was more for me. And maybe you've said the exact same thing. And so one of the things this business has done for me is it's allowed me to reclaim my time. Today I work about 5 hours a week servicing my clients. And I love what I get to do. I don't have any dread related to what I get to do. I get to use all my skills and my talents to really serve people to change their life. And maybe that's something that you want to do. You want to use your skills and talents in the ways that you want to. I love the fact that today I don't have a cap on my income. See, what I was doing in corporate America, I was really great at it. But there was always a cap, this thing called a salary. Okay. And every now and again, there would be a bonus, but still there was a cap. I didn't have any control over what I would earn from one year to the next year. Right. And at any time I could be downsized conveniently. I wanted control over my life, and I didn't want to cap my income. But more importantly, what I wanted to do was be able to be the kind of mom that I wanted to be and the kind of wife that I wanted to be. I wanted to be able to spend time with my family. And I know that that's one of the biggest trade-offs for most women, is that you have to choose. And I wanted to build a business around my life. And if this is you, I want you to say, this is me, Mia. Like, I want to build a business around my life, not my life around my business, which is what most of us do in the workplace. Your job determines whether or not you can go to your children's games. Your job determines whether or not you can go on a date with your spouse in the middle of the day. You're asking permission to do the things that you just would love to do naturally. I wanted to create freedom, and today I've been able to do that. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over 15 years. I absolutely love it. My husband's been a full-time entrepreneur as well. And I just love the freedom that it has created. But more importantly, I love being able to transfer that to my clients as well. Many of my clients, as a result of what I've taught them, have been able to become full-time entrepreneurs. Money is no longer a concern for them, and their job is not a plan. And they've understood this because they have a step-by-step system. Now, Susan, I think I just got your message, and I am so excited that I got your message, and I'll respond to it. I just saw it a minute ago, so I'll respond to it at the end of this live, and I'm glad that you're here in your beautiful self, okay? Exciting. So today I'm talking about how to own your life, the calling, that's the giftedness that you have. And I know that as a result of you hearing what I share, that it's going to support you, it's going to shift you, and it's going to be transformational for you if you take an action. Now, I can tell you that this is going to be a tough live. And I'm only saying that because it's important that when I'm sharing with you what I know will happen for you to change your life, that I tell you the truth. So I'm not going to hold back, because I want you to take an action, because I know that this will really make a difference for you. And last thing I'll say is, a result of growing my business, one of the greatest things that happened for me and my family is that my husband developed kidney disease about maybe 11 years ago and went on dialysis. And I don't know what you guys know about that disease, but it's very aggressive. And he had therapy 3 times a week, 3 hours a day when he had therapy. And I was able to stand in the gap for my family when that happened. I could be there for my husband. He could get the medical care that he needed. Okay. And we were able to hire for him a private physician so he could get an elevated level of care. So running a great business creates options. Life happens no matter what. Okay. But if you run a great business, you can stand in the gap for your family and make a difference. And I would say another thing that really supported me is being able to give my children a world-class education. And my husband and I have done that. We've invested over $1 million in just elementary, middle, and high school. And notice that I didn't say college, because my son got a full ride to college and my daughter has got partial scholarships and things like that. And the reality is that when you run your business properly, and many women that follow me want to give their kids a great education, and that education might be traditional school, or it might be via travel and things like that. But you can really do that when you build your business properly. And I would say that the greatest gift that I've been able to give my children is me being present, because I built a business for freedom. And I'm so grateful that I did that. I always say I didn't build my business for my children. I built it for my freedom. And I knew if I got myself free, I could show up more for my children. And I know many of the women that follow me, that's one of the things that you really want, things that are real. I never come on here and talk about purses, handbags, or first class trips and all of that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, what really matters is the quality time that we have with the people that matter the most. What really matters is the way we can stand in the gap for the people in our world that we love so much. What really matters is that we have the power to be present, because we built a business that is around our life and not the other way. And if that resonates with you at all, then you're going to love what I teach on, what I coach on. All right. So let me jump in. If you're ready, then I want you to write, I'm ready. Today, I'm going to teach on how to own the calling that's on your life, how to own the calling that's on your life. And I thought about this today because I work with women who all have a calling. They have a giftedness. They have a brilliance that they were put here to use. And likely you're already doing that. Professionally, you've been doing it. You've already seen it in your life. Maybe people tell you all the time, like, you should write a book. You should put that in a book. Or maybe it's that you have been told over and over again, my goodness, this is like brilliant. Or somebody's done something you told them to do and it changed their life. And yet you haven't packaged who you are and what you do. You haven't owned the calling that's on your life. And if this is you, you're going to love, love, love what I'm going to share today, because this is super important. All right. A lot of times the natural things that you're doing, the things that we take for granted, right? And life has clues. People are telling you all the time. You're seeing it at work. People are praising you or giving you bonuses or things like that, or always putting you in the front or making you the leader or the point person. There's a reason for that. And I think many times what we do is we say, oh, well, that was nice. And we don't look at how we trend. But tonight, I want you to change that. And I want you to start looking at how you trend. Awesome. So it looks like Lois is ready. Susan is ready. Let's see who else is ready. Alicia is ready. I love this. Robbie's ready. Faith is ready. Of course, Faith is ready. Maria is ready. And I'm so excited that you guys are ready, because it is a very interactive live, and it'll be great for you. And it's great for me when you guys interact, because I get to know you better. Okay, number one, the first thing I want you to do when you're owning the calling in your life is, number one, is becoming comfortable. Become comfortable with your brilliance. That's right, I said it. You got to become comfortable with your brilliance. And the reason I wrote that is because a lot of times when we are brilliant, we've been taught that it's arrogant, right? Or that we lack humility. When we own the fact that I know the answer, I'm actually really good at this. Like, I know I can create results for people, and we own it. I want you to think of it this way. Would you ever choose a surgeon that was doubtful about their ability to operate on you? No. Would you ever work with anyone that didn't have the capacity, if they were a surgeon, to tell you, I'm really amazing at this. This is what I've done. This is my zone of genius. This is my brilliance. And the same is true with what your giftedness is, what your calling is. The reason that people will want to work with you is because you're comfortable owning the fact that this is the thing that I know how to do exceptionally well. And, I'm going to just talk about this for a minute, because I've coached literally thousands of women all around the world. And the clients that I've worked with who have created the greatest amount of success quicker, faster, sooner, are the ones who have allowed their mindset to expand so that they can breathe in the fact that it's okay to be brilliant. Just like you can accept the parts of yourself that you do not like, it's also important to accept the parts of yourself that you love, that you know are exceptional. See, the reality is, when you're talking about packaging your knowledge, your know-how, your background, your gifts, the reason that someone will want to work with you, the reason that someone will hire you, the reason that you will stand out in a crowd is because you understand what it is that you do exceptionally well, and you're okay with being brilliant, being called brilliant, being comfortable, being gifted. And I don't mean this from an ego perspective, someone stroking you in order for you to know that you're great. You already know it. You already have the proof. But now it's time for you to own it, literally own it. Now, let me just tell you a personal story. Like, literally, I was in a mom's group, and this mom's group had 40 moms in it. And I was a mom that joined a mom's group when I was pregnant with my first child, and I didn't yet have a baby yet. So that's a little different, because most of the moms in mom groups have babies already, right? So if they're pregnant, they usually already have a toddler. But I joined a mom's group when I was 6 months pregnant. So, and I remember being in this mom's group, listening to all these moms always complaining about, I don't have time for myself. I don't feel beautiful and all these things. And I created these systems for myself as a pregnant mom so that I wouldn't enter motherhood that way. And when I had my son, and I was hanging out with the same group of moms, they would all say to me over and over again, how is it that you have time to read a book? How is it that you're always dating your husband? How is it that you always make time for your own self-care? Because they didn't understand how to do it. And I did. And I realized that was my zone of brilliance. Okay. Like mom systems. I wrote a book called Time for Mommy, 5 Essential Strategies for a Mother's Self-Care, based on 5 essential strategies for a mother's self-care, based on what I was doing in my own life, which was my zone of genius. Okay. That book, that one book, my system, me being myself, owning my giftedness. Okay. My brilliance. That book ended up becoming a #1 Amazon bestseller, selling book. That book ended up getting me signed to Emmy-nominated and nationally syndicated television shows 3 times, okay? That book ended up getting me corporate deals with Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 brands, running Time for Mommy groups literally all around the United States. Can you believe it? In partnership with Panera Bread, in partnership with Great Harvest Bread Company, in partnership with Corner Bakery Cafe. Me standing in my brilliance, becoming comfortable that me time for mommy is more than enough. And I want you to understand this as I share my story. I want you to insert your own. I want you to write, what makes you brilliant? What is it that you do that's exceptional, that's different? And becoming comfortable owning that. I remember when I told my mom that I was going to be a mom coach, and my dad, and they both were like, mom coach, like, why? Okay, this doesn't make any sense. Sometimes the lane that you're meant to swim in is a solo lane meant for you and for you to use your gifts and your talents. If you're understanding this, I want you to write, I'm getting this, me, all right? And if this is really resonating with you, share it with a friend, because it's so important that we understand, #1, being comfortable in your brilliance, okay? In your brilliance. It's the thing that will attract others to you. #2, tonight I'm talking about how to own the calling that's on your life. I've already shared that the first thing I recommend is being comfortable with your brilliance. The second thing is having elevated conversations and language around you. The second thing is having elevated conversations and elevated language around you. You know, you want to be in a place where the conversations that are around you, what people are talking about, what they're doing, how they're doing what they're doing, and what's happening is a language you do not speak yet. If you are in rooms and every part of the conversation you understand, you are in the wrong rooms. You know, literally, I had to get myself around people who were doing corporate deals, who were venture capitalists, who were heavily involved in media. I had to learn a language of dealing with people who were producers or development directors, because those were the people who were running these national television shows. You know, I got signed to Emmy-nominated television shows, me, the mom strategist. Why? Because I decided that I was going to, 1, become comfortable in my brilliance and communicate what my value was, be okay being different, swimming in my own lane. And I'm suggesting the same for you. And I decided I'm going to take that conversation on the road, and I'm going to have elevated conversations with people who are speaking a different language, right? That people who get it. Now, here's the deal. If you've got a big, amazing idea and you are brilliant and incredible, but you don't elevate the people you hang out with, the conversation you're having, and the language that's being spoken, then the opportunities that are available to you are going to be exactly what they are right now. What I realized was me getting in different spaces, deciding that for a brilliant idea and a bodacious idea, I need to hang out with other people who dreamed and thought outside of the box, just like me. People who we were like-minded because we were outside of the box already in terms of what we believed was possible. And what I realized is that whenever I pitched to those individuals, whenever I shared my ideas with those individuals, they would see what I wanted to do, and they often added value to me or made an introduction for me or opened a door that wouldn't have been available had I decided to stay in the lane where everybody else was. I was swimming in my own lane, guys. I was owning my brilliance. And I hope that in hearing this today, this really supports you in thinking like, am I doing this? Am I taking my big, amazing idea and telling someone who doesn't have any big and amazing ideas and asking their opinions about what I need to do next? I decided that if you were not free, you couldn't teach me. Every single mentor that I've had have all been full-time entrepreneurs. And I know that the reason that I'm a full-time entrepreneur today is because if you weren't free, you couldn't teach me. I wanted to be around people who only talked about time freedom, who only talked about how to build a business based on leverage, that didn't have a toxic conversation talking about dominating people or talking about hustle and grinding as their primary strategy for growing an amazing business. I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to hang out with people who spoke differently. I wanted to hang out with people who were having an elevated conversation. I wanted to talk to people who understood how to build a business from the comfort of your home, how to build a business around your life. It was more than a notion. They were living that way. And I know for a fact that because I chose a mentor who was living in Mexico for 4 or 5 months of the year and built that amazing dream for me, I believe that that's wholeheartedly why I've been able to build a business from the comfort of my home while my family equally are looking at and exploring other international opportunities for home buying for us. Because you see, when you're around people who live differently, talk differently, they expose you, they grow you differently. So it's time to get in different rooms, right? Hashtag get in different rooms. Get in different rooms. Okay, are you guys getting value here? If you're getting value, I want you to say, I'm getting value, all right? And Susan writes, I am brilliant at helping women see their power clearly. I love it, and I love the picture. Lois says, I'm getting this. Tanisha says she's getting this. Love the hat. Faith says, I'm getting this, and you shared. I appreciate you for sharing. All right. Today I'm talking about how to own the calling on your life. If you just joined me, okay, make sure you share this, and because this is going to change somebody's life. All right. Number 3, how to own the calling on your life. Number 3 is live your life without caps. Okay. Live your life without caps. Okay. What is it? Live your life without caps. What do I mean? What I want you to understand is that there's something really powerful about learning how to live your life without any restrictions, without any caps, without any ceilings, okay? Because in our lives, we are usually surrounded by people who tell you there's a cap on what you can earn, there is a cap on what you can do. But the business that I have built is a business where there are no caps. Literally, there's no caps. Okay, and there's a freedom when you come to understand that your ability to earn is not based on your ability to perform or someone's writing some numbers on a check telling you this is what you're going to make, or you trading time for dollars. There's something really powerful about understanding that brilliance that you have. Actually, that brilliance isn't meant to be capped. And the thing that's incongruent for you right now is the fact that you're trading time for dollars. And you're like, look, I'm working 40 hours. For those of you, let's say, who are consultants, in order or you generate income by trading time for dollars. You don't earn unless you are with someone, right? So you only earn by spending time with people. And because you're like, man, I'm working harder now than I ever have, because your income is capped, because you've taken your brilliance, you haven't leveraged your brilliance, you've traded time for dollars, and your brilliance was never meant to be capped to begin with. I teach my clients this model, and I talk about building your business with ease and grace. And it's more than just words. They've learned that building your business the right way means that you create greater time freedom, and it means that there is no capacity on what you can earn. And I'm not talking about this from some, flash cash strategy. I'm just saying that when people pay me for what I do, they pay me because I create results for them. If you come to me and you're selling something for $250 an hour, and I'm able to show you how to sell the exact same thing for, let's say, $50,000 a client, the reality is you're paying me for what I know. You're not paying me for my time. And the moment that I got clear around my brilliance and how to properly package my brilliance, I realized that I had to live my life without any caps. That the majority of the people that I saw in my world, in my life, most of the teachers that I had met along the way, the mentors I had in school, didn't know anything about building your life to create freedom in the truest sense. I'm breaking this all the way down. This is so good. I hope you guys are really getting it, okay? But I really want you to hear my heart on this, all right? The way that I want you to understand that owning the calling on your life, owning that brilliance, and knowing that that brilliance was not meant to be put in a box. What you know right now is more than enough to get you free. It's more than enough to create the freedom that you desire. It's more than enough that you can change your life with what you know when you properly package what you do. But the thing that is getting in the way likely is the model that you have said yes to, because that's based on your association. That's based on what you've known, what everybody showed you over the years, maybe through your work commitments, the salaries that you've said yes to in your work life, or the fact that the teachers and mentors that you had did not truly own their brilliance. They didn't understand how to properly value their intellect and how to package it in the highest ways. I can tell you for sure that there are many ways to be able to leverage what you know, and it does not involve your time at all. Literally, someone could license your ideas from you, and that means you create something one time and they buy it from you over and over again, and you could be off on the beach with your family doing whatever it is that you want to do, because this is a passive sale. And if you don't understand anything about how to live your life without caps, I'm just teaching you, right? Just say, I want to know more. Mia, I want to know more. I want to know more, because I told you today, I'm not going to hold back. I was on vacation last week, if that's what I'm going to call it, and with my family. And the reality is that we're just searching for a home. So is that a vacation, or is that like looking for homes in a different location? And it's just one of those things that I feel so complete when I think about the fact that I can do what I want to do, when I want to do it, where I want to do it, and there is no cap on me doing it. There's no one saying, Mia, you can't run a business and live in Puerto Rico. Why not? Why not? Why can I not take what I know and do it there? I can. Okay, because there's no caps. There's no one telling me I can't do it, or that my income is going to be constrained, or that I'll make less money if I do what I do anywhere I want to in the world. And I want that for you. I literally want that for you. And I want you to have this understanding, because the reality is, it is truth. Even if you've not known anyone that way, it's truth. Okay. And Faith writes, I am getting value. Thank you. This is really good. I appreciate you. And Lois says, great value. And Alicia says, I'm getting value. Thank you for being obedient. And prophetically speaking into our lives. That word prophetic is intentional and for our intended purposes. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you so much. It just touches me. Susan says, getting value, so appreciate you. Lois says, I want to know more, right? Tanisha says, I want to know more. We want to know where you got your hat. And Faith says, more, Mia, more, no caps, right? No caps, right? Like no caps. You can, and you know that you're living your life with caps when you start to qualify what you want to do by something that you don't want to do, all right? Meaning, when you have no caps, you literally, there's nothing constraining your decision making. You live life based on what it is that you want to do. Okay. Number 4, owning the calling in your life is build a business around your life. And I can't say this anymore. Build your business around your life. Build your business around your life and not the other way around. And so many people build their life around the way they generate income. Okay. But what I'm telling you is that build your business, okay, around your life. So the very first thing that I decided was like, look, I know what work looks like, 40, 70 hours a week. That's what that would look like, right? In a traditional sense. And I would have to build my life around my work because that's what my work would require professionally. But I thought, what if when I start my business, if I take a completely different approach? Because the thing that didn't work for me working for someone else was the fact that I had to build my life around my business. So what if I build my business around the life I want to live? And I began to explore what that looked like. Like for myself, initially, I was like, I don't want to work on Mondays and I don't want to work on Fridays. And of course, I don't want to work Saturday and Sundays. And I'll work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's how I kind of thought about it, right? And that's how I began to structure my business. Every single thing that I did, I said, okay, I don't work on Mondays. I don't work on Fridays. And therefore, I always have Monday I always have Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So I thought, well, that was great. But as time has grown for me, that's even expanded in my own vision. Now I work 5 hours a week servicing my clients. My business is based on freedom models. I don't generate income based on selling time. And I want you to get this part, because if you are going to get free and live the life that you want, leveraging your knowledge, using your brilliance, it really is about having this shift in your thought process that says, well, what's the life that I want to live? What do I want to get free to do? Okay. And really thinking about it, like really stepping into what that looks like. So I started to play with things like I'll only enter my office at 1:00 in the afternoon, because that was my preference. I was a night owl. I preferred to stay up till like 11 o'clock anyway. And I thought, you know what? I just want to come to work at 1:00, because for me, that meant that I could volunteer like I wanted to at school when my kids were younger. It meant that I could go to the gym and work out in the way that I wanted to, right? Like it gave me the freedom to do me, okay, first, and then do my productive work around that. Does that make sense? And I think sometimes we never think about the reason that you go in business is to create greater freedom for yourself, to create more income without any restrictions or caps. And yet many people start a business and they take this old toxic belief called the JOB and that process, and they apply it to their jobs. Build your business around your life. It might mean that in my case, I don't like to email. I'm not a big emailer. Okay. So I'm not a big emailer. So I don't incorporate email a lot in my coaching with my clients, because the way that I'm able to support them in incredible ways, it's the best way is the way that works the best for me. And then, right, for me to communicate how to create results, right? So I found models that work for me, that are easier, that work better for me to create results for them. And I decided to lean away from things that people said, use this. And I was like, this doesn't fit. How can I teach someone how to write their book via email? I'm better off coaching my clients in the ways that I do, answering their questions 100% on the platforms that work for me, maybe via video or maybe via audio. But I decided that instead I would rewrite the rules. And I'm telling you that you are in a place to take your brilliance, okay, and package your brilliance and structure something that is radically different than what you've known in your work life. And it'll allow you to fight for yourself in different ways. When I get up each and every day, I don't get up and when I think about work, I never think about, oh my God, how many emails do I have? I'm never in dread, because I didn't build a model that incorporates the things that I don't like to do. I work with the people that I love to work with, smart, sharp women who believe in self-investment, who are action takers, who are go-givers, who love God, who just are people who do what they say they're going to do. They take 100% responsibility for the implementation. They are the kind of people that create amazing results for others. And I learned tremendously from being around that tribe of people. It was intentional for me to build this business around my life. People who I get to share my gifts and transfer my talents, my step-by-step system so that they can monetize at a high level. And I get in turn the gift of watching people literally step into a higher version of living for themselves, because they're unafraid and they're unapologetic to own their brilliance and their gifts. That was a whole mouthful. But I want you to know that you don't have to work with every single person that comes to you. You can be selective. You can choose to work with people who really want incredible results. And the difference is the culture you get to create. See, my clients, they call themselves giants. And I only work with giants, right? And a giant means all the things that I just mentioned. So they know that they have giant capacity and gifts, and they are willing to share with other people, other women who equally have big ideas and who are willing to share their vision of how they're elevating in their life, in their world, how they're pitching, how they're packaging, how they're changing their own, like their own life, their own family, their own history because of being highly actionable. I love that, and that all came from just not being afraid, becoming comfortable with my brilliance, understanding I had an ability to motivate women, to challenge them to the next level, and work with people who really wanted to be in a culture like that. Two, elevating the conversation and language around you. I realized for myself that I did not want to be around people who were whining, talking about what they wanted to do, talking about they didn't have money for this or that. I wanted to work with people who said, if I want change, I'm willing to invest in it, period, because that's who I am. And I know that when I work with people who find the money, who are investors in themselves, they are the kind of people that change their life. You have to find a way. So think about it. Number three, living without caps. Understanding that for myself, I wanted to build a business that was going to be completely different than what I was doing at work. And in my work life, I had a cap, and that cap was called a salary. Okay. And it came with some perks like trophies each year, corner office, things like that. But I didn't want that. I wanted more than that. I wanted to live my life without caps. And four, I wanted to build a business around my life and not the other way. I wanted to determine what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, when I wanted to work and when I did not want to work. I wanted to be available for my family in ways that I desired and be able to show up because I built a business that would allow for that. And I didn't want to ask anyone's permission to live the life that I desired. And number five, you guys are going to love number five. If you're going to own the calling in your life, number five is you got to be okay with being different. You got to become okay with being different. Listen, if you're talking about living outside the box, bringing your natural, brilliant self, you're going to be different because the vast majority of people are so much socialized to be like everyone else. And it's the reason why they live like everyone else, but I just knew that I was part of that 2%. I just wanted to be in that number. And the reality is I had to become okay with being different. And sometimes it means that I had to walk alone or swim alone, or at least it felt that way for a period or a season when I'm building this business called Mom as a Mom Coach, and nobody knows what that is. And a lot of the people without dreams had side eyes, blank stares, and thought I was crazy. But the reality is that the moment that I began to step into my dream and associate with people, my own ambition level and above, I realized that they were okay being different. And together, we were all okay being different. And we realized the thing that made us valuable is the thing that made us scarce. Hear me on this. The thing that it will make you exceptionally valuable is understanding that your difference is the thing that makes you the most valuable, sought after. It was my difference that positioned me completely differently than anyone else. Okay. The fact is the vast majority of people don't have the courage to be themselves, to own their gifts, right? To lead from the front. And the gift and the calling that you have that's on your life likely will require you to do things that you never thought you would ever do in the world. And the question is, are you willing to be okay with being different? Are you willing to try something, fail more, right? I always say fail forward, right? I have failed more than probably any person that I know personally outside of my mastermind partners. They fail too. And I love it. I live to do things, explore things, try new things, and I never judge myself by failing. I realize that is what has made me successful. I'm different that way. I'm wired that way. I don't judge myself because I've done something and it didn't work exactly as planned. I realize because I did it differently, I now get to live with different gifts and different tools. I get to learn new things about myself. You got to become okay with being different. And because of that, I've built a degree of confidence, because confidence comes from doing. And, you can talk about it, but it's not until you're doing it that you really are about it. If this is hitting you somewhere, say, man, this is like, I'm feeling this, right? Okay. Because I really want to come on here tonight and talk about owning the calling on your life, because you guys listen to me all the time. And, I've got a gazillion lives on YouTube. So if you haven't seen them, go check it out if you like this one. But I never talk about this owning the calling. And the fact of the matter is, that's what I did. And that's what I get my clients to do, is step into owning that calling and that giftedness on their life. Number 6, and we're almost done. We have 8. Number 6, you got to align your actions with your purpose. Pause for a second. This is a big statement. You've got to align your actions with your purpose. What do I mean? So a lot of times we don't align the things that we're doing, our actions, with our purpose, why we were put here. So let's say you know that you were meant to tell a story, write a book, right? Be on a stage, be an amazing speaker, okay? And yet you never write a book, okay? You're always the person talking about going to write a book. You got to align your actions with your purpose. If you want to realize that calling that's on your life, align your action with your purpose. That means be a doer of the thing that you've been put here to purport. Okay. That means do the thing. All right. And in doing that thing, everything begins to open up for you. I always say that to my clients, that there is a layer of money around you that likely you do not see. And the moment that you step inside your story and you begin to be actionable around your purpose, my goodness, okay? You're like, I got invited to be a panelist, or, my book became a bestseller, right? This news station asked me to come on. Well, why did that happen? Because you aligned your action with your purpose. And when you align your actions, what you're doing with the thing that is in your mind's eye, okay, now you get to step inside that dream. Now you get to realize the bigness of that vision. Now you get to bless others because you had the courage to follow through on the thing that you were put here for. And I hope that this is resonating and it's making sense because the reality is not what you're talking about. It's not enough just to talk about it. Trust me. Okay. It's important to align your actions, what you're doing. Write that chapter every day. Pick up the mic and start speaking every day. Okay. Putting together those proposals and pitching those companies, right? Knowing that that's what you were meant to do to create that kind of result and change. It doesn't happen because you thought about it, because you journaled about it. But the fact of the matter, it happens because of you aligning your actions with that calling that's on your life. And you become unstoppable. Literally, like people just start calling you out, reaching for you because you've given them the tools to say, I'm ready. Okay. There are people right now that want to work with you. There are people right now who need you. But the reason they haven't raised their hand, the reason that they haven't called you, messaged you, emailed you, is because you haven't aligned your action with your purpose. It's time. It's time to do that. And it's time to stop hiding, behind would, should, ought to. Going to do it. The question is, when are you going to do it? Okay. The time is now. The time is now. Okay. And, it's interesting because I've been in business now 19 years. And now I look at my life and it's unrecognizable in the sense of like how I earn, how I work, how I live. And it all started with just aligning my actions, doing 3 things every day in the direction of my purpose, right? 3 little things every day. I have 3 things. And now I look at my life and I think those small actions literally were transformational and they changed my life. And more importantly, I've been able to change the lives of other people by stepping in my purpose. People need you, okay, to show up for yourself. So someone wrote, heaven's the limit, okay? And Faith, right, that's the same schedule I wanted. I will get there for sure. Yes, Faith. Okay. Susan says, laughing out loud. Different is my life story. How about that? Okay. Faith says, yes, that's so good. My story will open doors for me and bless others. And Susan says, I wish we were on Clubhouse so I could clap. I think I heard you clap though. Okay. I think well, maybe I felt it. Okay. And number seven, which is owning the calling on your life. And they're just 8. Number 7 is playing outside of your league. Oh man, let me talk about this for a second, right? Playing outside of your league. If you want to own the calling in your life, play outside the league. Okay. You know how sometimes people tell you swim in your lane? Have you ever heard that? Okay. I'm going to tell you it's a very toxic way of talking to someone. Swim in your lane. Well, the reality is you need to play outside of your league. What allows us to be better is, iron sharpens iron, right? The wit of one man to another. Okay. You hanging with someone or people who are doing things that you haven't done yet, that's called the key to success. Okay. You stay in your own lane, you'll be in that lane by yourself forever. Okay. When we're talking about owning the calling on your life, it's time to play outside of your league. That means you got to hang around giants. You got to get around people who are doing things that make you uncomfortable. You're like, what? You saw what? You did what? You know what I mean? You asked for what? You put together what kind of deal? Hanging out with people you believe are outside of your league, because they're not. It's that you hanging with those individuals who you deem outside of your league is ultimately what allows you to grow into being a person on the league. That's how you get on a team. Okay. You play with people who are doing things that you want to do. They're already doing it. All right. And why do people decide not to do that? Because of mindset, because of their own self-image, because of their own self-worth, because of their programming from, wherever, their friends, their parents, whatever. And people telling you, you're not ready yet. Or for some people, they feel like once I get ready, then I'll go and play with the people in my league. Doesn't work that way. The reality is there's something different and unique about stepping into association with people because you know that you're ready for your next level, that allows those individuals to invite you in. You realize that those doors were always available to you. It's just that your mind told you you couldn't go through them. So, literally, I've spent my whole life just walking through doors and knowing that they're all available to me. Okay. I've understood that no doesn't mean no. No means maybe not right now, or maybe I had a bad night, but it's not personal. The reality is we have a responsibility to step into different leads in our life and in our world. And in doing that, we get access to different information. We get access to different people and opportunities. It's the league, okay, that isn't closed. It's available to you. And the only thing that creates that closure is our belief system. So I hope that understanding, playing outside of your league or what you believe is outside of your league, once you get there, you realize this is where I'm supposed to be. It will just feel like home, because where you are right now, hanging with the folks that you're hanging with who don't think outside of the box is not your league. And somehow each and every day you feel uncomfortable sharing your ideas, dumbing your ideas down, or you're tired of people asking you, how are you going to do this exactly? When you play outside your league, that is not the conversation. People actually talk about things even bigger than what you're doing. And it grows you. It grows you internally. And it allows you to step into a higher version of thinking and what's possible for yourself. Number 8 is the last thing I have tonight. Owning the calling that's on your life. Number 8 is work with a mentor who calls out the good in you. Okay. So you need to work with someone, a mentor who calls you out, can see the good in you, see the good, meaning that next level goodness in you. And it calls you out, that won't allow you to play small, doesn't even want to talk about it, right? So I tell my clients sometimes we're on coaching calls, I'll say to them, if they want to sell something for under $2,500, all my clients sell big ticket things, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, $100,000 or more. And so if somebody comes on because of fear and they want to talk about something they want to sell for $250 to $100 or whatever it is, I immediately, because I know them, I'll immediately elevate that conversation, call the good out that I see in them, and help them see bigger. right? You need a mentor that can see bigger in you, that calls out the good that's inside of you, that doesn't allow you to play small, that doesn't allow you to believe the things that you've convinced yourself that you got to start and work your way up, or this idea you got to do these challenges for 15 days or 25 days for free, the notion that you have to be on discount, the idea that you have to sell low ticket because you need experience, this idea that you need to podcast, blog forever and not build a profitable business. This notion that it's going to take you, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months to close your first client, and that you can't go from where you are right now to the next 3 days, 4 days, 9 days, 10 days, closing someone in some amazing high ticket offer, because you can. And it's important to work with people who, one, have done what they are getting you to do, first and foremost, and there's evidence of it. And let me just say, evidence means proof. That means that if I tell you I can do something, I can back it up. Very important that you have a mentor, that you have proof that they've done it for themselves, and that also they have the ability to transfer what they've done for themselves to others. To me, that's what a great mentor does. One, they create results for themselves, and two, they have the ability to not only create the result for themselves, because that's great, but how does it, okay, but do they have a systematic process that allows them to take the exact results that they can create for themselves and transfer that to someone else, to others? And there should be evidence of it. And I think that you need to work with a mentor who calls out the good in you, that doesn't allow you to play small, and that supports you in seeing bigger, that shows you how to grow into a higher vision of yourself. I always tell my clients, the fact of the matter is, a lot of them hire me because they want me to show them how to package their knowledge into a high ticket offer. True. And I do that. But the reality is, I think my greatest work is that I show them how to see themselves differently, how to stand in their value, how to own their bigness, right? Because it's super important. And when they do that, they're then able to go from wherever they are in their belief system of charging, whatever it was before, $1,500 or $150 an hour, or whatever it was, to standing in their value, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand or more. So that's super important. And if you don't have a mentor and you've been following me and you're looking for one, then, I invite you to just watch some of my YouTube videos. I've got tons here, YouTube channel. I've got thousands of videos there, and see if it resonates, right? Look at my testimonial pages and see if the kind of results that my clients create are the kind of results you can believe for yourself. I'll post a link here of a page that has some of the testimonials there. So that's what I have for you today. This is called Own the Calling That's on Your Life. And I would love to know an aha or a takeaway that you got from being here today. So one thing, an aha or takeaway as a result of you being here today, you could have been here, you could have been anywhere, but you decided to be here. And I want to know, what did you get? Like, what was one thing that you heard here that you're like, man, that really resonated with me. And that for me is something that I'm going to take from this particular broadcast today, and I'm going to use it. Any ahas, any takeaways as a result of being here? If maybe it was that you learned that life doesn't have to have caps, because it doesn't. Or maybe it's that you recognize that you are brilliant, and that being comfortable being brilliant is something that's super important. So Lois writes, life without caps. That was your aha, right? That's really powerful, understanding that you don't have to have a cap on what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. And I think a lot of times when we hear people talk about that, we don't know that that is actually real, but it is actually the truth. Okay. My husband owned a commercial laundry. He just retired last year, and he owned a commercial laundry for about 15 years, mid-sized laundry. And in that business, there were caps, like real caps. Like if we were charging $1 a pound or $2 a pound for laundry, we could not charge $4 a pound. And no matter how amazing our services were, that was a business with caps. What I want you to understand is that there's a way to build your business and in your life without caps. The business that I run today does not have caps on what I earn. So thank you for sharing that, Lois. Faith writes, playing outside of my league is a definite aha moment, right? So it's so important to understand that play outside your league. That's how you get better, right? That's how you grow. And that's our responsibility in this life, is to, hang out with people who do things that you aren't doing yet, who are closing things that you haven't closed yet, right? So it's so important. Susan, right. Don't play small, in essence, right? Don't play small. Okay. Life is big. And imagine taking your brilliance and trying to take a brilliant idea and play small with it and expecting that to work. And it's not going to work. Okay. Because you've got to actually make sure that your strategy, that you're aligning your action with your purpose. And you're so out of alignment when you play small, because you got this big, brilliant idea, right, with small action. So there's not going to be any result that happens from that. Does that make sense? Or results in the ways that we want to manifest, right, in the truest way, because we have to show up for ourselves. Any other ahas or takeaways as a result of being here today? I do want to invite you to check out the Giant Experience Master Training. August 2nd through 6th, I'll be going live for 5 days, coaching clients. You get 10 hours of my best training. I teach you how to package, price, position, and find buyers step by step. Women come through the training. It is literally transformational. You get about 10 plus hours of some of my best training when you sign up instantly. It's the pre-work. And then over the course of 5 days, I coach you each and every night, August 2nd through 6th, step by step on what you need to know to begin to build the business and brand of yourself, and how to build the business the right way, and how to think about stepping into a higher version of yourself. And if this live supported you tonight, then the Giant Experience equally would be of great support to you. Any ahas or questions? Anything that I can support you with? What I can do is, let me see if I can do this here, if I know how to do this. One second. I'm going to show you. This is the Giant Experience Master Training. It's for entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, trainers, course creators, speakers, who are ready to stand in their value and charge what they're worth, close with ease, and package their expertise and education into high ticket offering. And actually, I was just going to take you to the testimonial page, because I think it's so powerful. The Giant Experience is 10 hours of training that you get when you sign up immediately, and you get a 5-day live Q&A with me. And I answer your questions on how to implement what you're doing. I'll just share, one of the videos.
Hi, my name is Zaina Patton, and I help professional women overcome their challenges and adversities to find their voice and to use it to advocate for themselves, for others, and for the causes that they believe in. I participated in Mia's Giant Virtual Experience Conference, and I got so much value out of it. I especially love the time that she took with the women in answering each and every one of their questions. And I had a lot of questions. And the answers that she gave me and listening to the others, I decided to take that and pitch myself to an organization to do some monthly coaching and consulting. And guess what, ladies? They said yes. I have a contract value of $144,000 for the year of 2021. That's $12,000 a month, about double of what I would normally charge. So thank you so much, Mia, for helping me overcome my challenge, to use my voice, to advocate for myself. I so appreciate all the work that you're doing.
It's interesting. I think she achieved that result within about 9 weeks of attending the master training. These are just some of the results. You guys can look for yourselves and see the kind of results that I'll just share this one.
Hello, ladies. I just wanted to pop on here. I am bursting with excitement and just amazement. Today, I signed my first deal, or closed my first deal. I'm still learning the terminology, but I was able to sign my first big corporate client as an executive coach for $48,000. No paperwork. Nothing written. I have my proprietary system in my head, but I had, they agreed to all the terms, 30% down, 2 payments after that. And I am just beside myself. Who does that? And as Mia would say, what?
What's interesting is she has since done exceptionally well, multiple six-figure earner. And she is recently become a full-time entrepreneur. And just is absolutely amazing watching clients create amazing results. But you can just, click on the link, check out the testimonials. They're all real. There are tons of great, amazing results that my clients have created that I've had the opportunity to support through the Giant Experience. I would love to hear any of your ahas or takeaways to see if anybody else posted. Tanisha says, let's see, that's my story. Is a layer of money around me that I never realized until now. That was your aha moment. Awesome. I love it. I am so excited to have been here today. Check out the Giant Experience if in any way you're looking to package your knowledge. The training is just $16.97, and it's amazing. It's my best work, so I'm real excited about it. So I'm so glad that you got value being here today. You could have been anywhere, but you're here, and you're here for a reason. So make sure you take what you learned today, you apply what you learned today, and you step into a higher version of yourself, all right? Are there any other questions before we sign off? Any questions, any other ahas or takeaways from you being here today? I'm happy to take a couple of questions if you had questions around something that I mentioned tonight. I'm so excited to do that. Lois says, gracious, that's you. Appreciative, that's me. Aren't you sweet? I appreciate you. And that's such a thoughtful message. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate it. Any other ahas or takeaways or any questions for me before I sign off? I know that there's a slight delay, so I always like to make sure that I hold a space for each and every one of you if you do have a question for me. But this was great, and I loved it. And I'm so excited for you because I know that every single thing that I shared here is the truth. And I know that stepping into that can absolutely change your life. I'm excited for you. So have a great and amazing night, and I look forward to talking to you soon.